talk about Mr. Tilson.
Yeah.
If you don't know about him, he was the 22-year-old that was arrested on a misdemeanor charge in Rockdale County. Now, when we started our platform, he was one of the first persons that I gave condolences out to his family, because when I read it, I couldn't understand how you go in jail on a misdemeanor charge and then you don't come back home. It's just, and it happens all over the country. We just don't hear about it because it's swept under the rug and it's hush-hush and it's not taken to a higher plateau because, like you said, the family doesn't have knowledge as to what to do in the situation. Let's break down, first of all, let's break down where he was. Because most people visualize jail and they just think that it's just this place with bars, like a prison situation.
Right.
Tell them exactly where he was.
I mean, like,
give us a visual.
when you nowadays, so the mass incarceration. So, in these particular ways, jails are being built like pods, basically. So on to say. So it's like this inmate to this pod, this inmate to this pod. What a pod is, a pod has basically boxes within boxes at the end of the day. So we talking about Conyers, Georgia to be exact, and Rockdale County to be exact. And the particular cell that he was in, because I was locked up in there for 14 days, held against my will, which you can see in my paperwork on public records, holding Mr. Frazier against his will for refusing to sign paperwork. And also on the same thing that he had going on, Mr. Tilson, with misdemeanor charges at the end of the day. So when you get locked up in Rockdale, they have something called an open dorm, and for people who have been incarcerated in this particular jail, at the end of the day, they basically know exactly what I'm talking about. You have an open dorm where you can move freely and so on, so on and so, and then you have the pods at the end of the day. And Mr. Tilson himself was in a pod, and one thing about these pods, so I'm just waiting to see like what they're gonna say about evidence and all of this at the end of the day, or we don't have this at the end of the day. Because one thing about these pods is that you can't. It's one way in, one way out at the end of the day.
Right.
And in order for you to get inside these pods in Rockdale County, you have to hold your hand up to the door at the end of the day. So we imagine you in a box, and it's a triangle in a box with an up and a downstairs at the end of the day.
So if I had to paint a picture to our viewers, you're in a box.
Right.
And there's a camera there continuously.
There's a camera, let's say it's a camera on the left-hand side wall. And then it's a camera by the door, because in order for an officer to get in and out the door, he got to wave his hand at that camera.
To get in and out
to get in and out that door.
So Mr. Tilson was not in from my understanding, he was not in.
He wasn't in. He was
not where the misdemeanor, the small crimes would be. Where was he?
In the pod.
He was in the pod, and the pod is for.
The pod is for
more violent offenders.
For more violent offenders. And his case was misdemeanor. So what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, is that for if it's a lot of foul play at the end of the day, and all what this is about at the end of the day is taking that negative energy out of control.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's exactly what it's about. We got a problem with those who do wrong to the people and amongst the people at the end of the day. So even with Mr. Tilson cases, that it has to be a lot of untruths. Because
everybody said, you said that everybody said that he was
happy going around. You know what I'm saying? Just living his life.
How long had he been there?
I want to say, from my understanding, a day. Like not even a whole day. Not even a whole day. Yeah, not even a whole day.
Was he beaten?
I don't know that part.
Okay, you didn't
see that. I don't know that part. I don't know that part, but we know for a fact that you can't deny those cameras. You can't deny those cameras at the end of the day. Because there's no way you can get in or out those pods at the end of the day. And the cameras are so direct on the doors. To the simple fact
nobody
is that
saw anything. Nobody in there say they saw anything.
No, that's not the truth. At the end of the day,
it's
there were inmates in there. There were inmates in his room. So you got to understand, like when you get the understanding of how a pod is set up, it's you can't. What I'm trying to say is that you can't say that we can't see this to happen. We can't see that to happen, because it's three people to every room, to every pod. So the first floor come out, the second floor come out, and I didn't be in time where I didn't been because of who I am and the way I speak, if they lock me up, they'll put me where, you know, in a higher, you know, part basically, as if like, you know, I guess it's a scare
Well, I guess
tactic.
what I'm trying to understand is were there people saying that he was beaten, point blank period? Did they say it? Not that you're saying it because you didn't see it, but is that the rumor that was saying?
It's there, that is the widespread rumor. That is the rumor.
That is the widespread rumor that he was beaten
rumor.
in jail.
Right.
And it has taken the coroner of Rockdale County until a couple of days ago to release the body to the family.
They didn't even release the no. This the whole thing about it. They didn't even, the family wasn't even notified. I think they said they were notified maybe a week after, or no, like 3 or 4 days after his death. 3 or 4 days after his death, they were notified. But nobody, then they shipped the body off with Georgia GBI. Why would you call in another in-house agency?
So the family, he died on the 14th.
Right.
The family has no answers from anyone.
Right. And
the report that was given to the mass media was, we don't know the cause of his death.
I mean,
however, he has not been given to his family as of yet.
No, they're actually in Rhode Island right now getting ready for his burial.
So when did they get his body?
I want to say the beginning of the week.
Yeah, so this week, yeah. So
but it's been a whole month.
It's been a whole month. So like I said before, they just kind of got his body. So
because it started to hopefully nothing, you know, get taken around, but it started to decompose.
Do you feel it was any foul play?
Of course. I mean, like, I am who I am at the end of the day, and of course at the end of the day, because if there was no foul play, then you would have no problem stating that, okay, this would happen, that's what's wrong with it. You know, I can make investigation go on for as long as I want to if I'm in control of it. Right. You know, that's just like you know, the police chief in Conyers, you know, their family also own the morgue. They also own the church. You know what I'm saying? They also own you know, they also the head of. So one thing about life is that, me personally, if I was in the family situation, is that, you know, I would always run my own investigation at the end of the day, and I would have probably called in the feds, because it's not like he was a felony or he was known for killing people or I mean, and that's the whole point, is that they try to make you try to demonize you, and that's what we was getting into about like the Salem witch trials. You know, like, you know, if I could demonize you and make you look this type of way, right? And then I can make you seem this type of way to people who really don't get the concept of the lifestyle that you live on the opposite from theirs. You know, I could make you look any type of way at the end of the day. So the reality of Mr. Tilson's situation is, at the end of the day, is just that you can't, how you gonna take a rightful human being, a spiritual human being that was once living, and take his body and give it to another in-house agency in the state, and not, of course I feel like it's foul play. You know, there's no way that, first and foremost, there's no way American citizens should be dying